Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. My name is Nick, it's the Friday chat vlog type thing, and we're in a bit of a different room this time because something's going on in that other room, but it's the same sort of flannel. Hope you're enjoying the videos this week. They're still going up at a hell of a rate, trying to keep you entertained. I've made a note of a few bits of news here I want to discuss, and we can have a bit of an old chinwag as we go into the weekend. And there's a bit of channel news as well, but we'll try and keep it loosely gaming, although there is some other stuff about health, and also there's the shout outs as well. So I've been a bit of a mixture of games this week, but one story that's really jumped out on me quite recently, it's a story that comes over time and time again, and it doesn't seem like companies have got any intention of maybe fixing this loophole. And it's a bit like buyers beware whatever you do. But essentially, you might have seen this story. Basically, it's the headline was Scots pensioners, so Scotland, shock as granddaughter racks up £3,000 bill on online computer gaming. Happens to time and time again, doesn't it? Time again. So how did this happen? Well, the granddaughter was just 8 years old, and the grandparents signed her up to Roblox. To keep her occupied through lockdown, so she had something to do. And in the games that she was playing, of course, she was encouraged to buy virtual currency during play, which she did. She didn't caught on that it was real money coming from her grandparents' accounts, and boom. Now, what would happen is I'm not sure how savvy the grandparents were on this, but if your payment options through PayPal or your bank are not set up correctly, then there's no limit to this. And a child can just click on virtual money, rack it up, rack it up, rack it up. And apparently she was on spending £500 a day on the various games without them knowing. I mean, £3,000, that's a lot of money, especially if you're a pensioner. Now, I don't know how this story's ended, but I think they've tried to contact the company to get a refund, but I don't think it's going particularly well. Their argument was, if such huge amounts of money were going out of their account, why didn't they get any alerts from the gaming companies just to let them know, is it okay and stuff? Because it's a huge amount of money in a short space of time. Generally, these games are free, they don't cost very much, and then it's kids typically don't fully understand it, and they've racked up a big bill. So what do you think about that? I mean, it's not the first time this has happened, is it? It's happened a lot of times, and I think the gaming companies are going to have to take responsibility, or there's going to have to be some rules or set up a passwords as compulsory. At the moment, it's optional. So if the parents or the grandparents have set this up with no rules, no passwords and stuff, they can their account can get absolutely sunk unless their bank puts any blocks on it. If they notice, which is a bit hit and miss with any fraud preventions they have in place. They're not going to sue their 8-year-old daughter. That will never work. Granddaughter, I should say. So boom. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Are companies going to do anything about this? I don't know. It makes me wonder what sort of percentage of their revenue is from this sort of like activity. Because why offer the game for free if you know this is going to come? But £3,000. So I'll be interested to see how that story ends. I couldn't find any more news about it. But yeah, signed up to Roblox apparently. So there needs to be some sort of law change there. That's just my thinking. What do you think about that? Is it just the grandparents' fault, or whoever sets it up's fault? They should be more responsible, or should the gaming people take more responsibility for it, not just put up disclaimers and all those sort of things, knowing there's going to be a lot of people that slip through the net and don't fix it. So there we go. Yes. Now, big news. If you haven't seen the live streams this week, you might not have heard this news or followed my Twitter. I know for weeks I've been saying things can get better live streaming wise if I upgrade the internet, because I wasn't, it wasn't through an account on my own, it was being delayed. I was also worried about the extra money, would I have to be continuously find it to do it. Well, we've made the plunge now. I was with the person and we've upgraded the internet package, right? This is huge for this channel. So at the moment we've been having an upload speed of 0.6. So I really don't know how I've been managed to upload as much stuff as I have done. I don't really know how we've been doing a live stream at all. It has been pretty buggy, so thank you there for people that have stuck with it in these opening 2 months as I find my feet on it. There have been lots of micro lags. It's been a little bit blurry in 360p, and every now and again it cut out completely for a few minutes. And there was argument for saying not doing it at all, but I'm glad I have done, because I did put it to you. You wanted me to continue with that. There's only going to be potentially, well, the router's going to arrive next Wednesday, so the 5th of August, and it might take, I've been told, about 24 hours for the full internet speed to come. So potentially there's only going to be about 3 or 4 more laggy, low-res streams, and then we'll be up for a much higher value, which is great news, because then that means instead of just, I'll have to be able to do a picture-in-picture eventually, I'll be able to cover more systems like the Amiga, the Mega Drive stream, be able to do mixed streams, the PlayStation 4, to try and gain an extra audience, although its core will always be retro. Once we get that set up, I mean, there's going to be some teething problems, no doubt. First of all, but once we did that, I can almost cry, because that's such a big thing to happen on the channel. Upload speed 0.6. Apparently, the highest it can go to is plus 19. Now, even with a 50% drop off of that, then we're looking at 10, and that's still plenty to do what we need to do. So I need to set up the bit rate and muck about a bit. Also, so you might see me doing a bit of practicing there. So what do you think about that? That's pretty big, isn't it? So that's happening next Wednesday. So what I'll probably do, all the existing live streams which that have already been archived, I say that's phase 1. So if you help me there with the super chats and memberships that fly up, that will be archived in a separate playlist. And then when the new ones go up from 720p, 1080p and above, that'll go on a separate live list. So that'll be like the Jurassic Park of it, the Cretaceous period or the Jurassic period, there where it all started. So that'll be archived there. Humble beginnings. I've been trying to do as many live streams as I possibly can, because I always believe the more you do, the more you learn what's going wrong, the more you find what's possible, although it's quite painful sometimes, but it's a learning process to get better and better before you get to the end project. End result. And also as well, once that's good, then you're looking at maybe crossovers to Twitch as well, to try and gain the audience, to grow the channel and to reward you with more and more stuff. So thank you there, and also to people that become members who are helping the channel as well, which we'll do some shout outs at the end for people of those on the top tier and above. So that's good. Now, mental health as well. Now, when you're doing a lot of work, or you're overworked or working from home, it's quite easy to be inside all the time and not get enough fresh air, which I was a bit guilty of as well. I go for my daily walks, but quite local. Recently, I've gone a bit further afield. I went with my dad and we had a walk to a place quite near us called Lee-on-Sea, to a place called Two Trees Nature Reserve. It's by the coast. We went for a 3-mile walk, which was good, getting the air in your hair, if you've got any. And yeah, we saw ducks, seagulls, and it's all about just walking over like loose ground, badly made paths, looking at stuff in the distance. Like we saw Tilbury Docks in the distance, the cranes there, and walked all along Lee side, saw board paddlers, and you know, saw the odd person walking their dog and saying hello to them. And it really unlocks your mind, releases some hormones to defeat stress, especially the duck pond and stuff like that. I'll tell you one interesting thing like that. We was out for a few hours, of course. We was walking along, and there's this sign saying, beware of model aircraft. I thought, what's going on here then? That's a little bit strange. What's happening? And we went past another sign. This time it had an exclamation mark on it. And I was looking up in the sky, because it's quite near Southend Airport, and a plane did fly across. But this was saying model aircraft, so I don't know what was going on there. And then we come to this open place where it's the path intersected this sealed off like a square or runway, and there was one guy here with his model aircraft. I don't know how much they cost, and he was on the runway, and we stopped to have a look at that. Now he went along and it took off into the air, and it looked absolutely stunning. Obviously he must be some kind of expert, because I don't know how much these cost, but if I had something worth 3,000 or 4,000, or the amount you'd give away to a game if you had your grandparents' account up in the sky, I'd be worried that it would cut out and it would crash. But it made a hell of a noise, and he was circling around. I don't think he was following us with a chase cam, and that looked quite good fun, that did. So I thought that was a really good hobby. Now obviously he was the only person that was flying around. If there'd been other planes, he might have had to try and intercept them or avoid them, and that's when it gets a little bit of a worry. But yeah, it was like I was like in another world, really. It's good to just suddenly distance yourself from all reality, all your responsibilities for a few hours, and take a step somewhere else. So I really enjoyed that walk, and it's something I'm going to have to do once a week, go a bit further afield from where I live and taking a bit of fresh air. So if you're feeling a bit stressed and you're not doing that, even if it's quite local to you, try and have a walk through some woodland. I know not everyone's by the coast to get the sea air, but just interact, have a look at the wildlife there. But this was a nature reserve called Two Trees Nature Reserve, absolutely massive. If you live near me, south of Leigh-on-Sea or whatever, then go down there. I can fully recommend it. But it helps if you've got good weather. It was nice and warm. I'm not sure how well I'd like to do it if it was raining on me hideously, but it's a really nice area. First time I've sort of like really gone down there and done the proper walk. So I'm a big fan of walks. Yes. It's been a good week all in all. On the live streams as well, won't spoil it for you, but the Stunt Car Racer live stream that goes up on a Thursday, the ZX Spectrum, that was particularly eventful. Had a bit of a breakthrough there, so have a look at that if you haven't already. It's a bit archived and it's pretty exciting stuff. But yeah, more live streams to come, and more high resolution live streams to come, and we're going to have a bit of fun there too. So all looking good, It's all about getting the numbers up, the subscribers and numbers up. Slowly going towards 3,000, which I know in the grand scheme of things is not a huge number, but for me it's pretty good. And we get to 5,000, 10,000, and then 52 billion trillion. So that's the main steps really. 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 300 billion trillion. And then I think YouTube will send me a little badge or something to put up somewhere. So that'll be pretty cool. Going back to gaming, let's try to keep gaming related. Remember, Space Invaders and Pac-Man. Talking about Pac-Man, Pac-Man is 40 years old. Come out in an arcade cabinet in 1980 from Namco, and we're now in 2020 at time of recording, which even when the recording's finished, it'll still be 2020 unless you're watching this later on. Now, Hasbro, the makers of Monopoly, have released, we're going to release on the 1st of August, a special Pac-Man Monopoly edition. I do like seeing all these different versions of a Monopoly, but what's good with this one is it comes with a mini arcade. I'll try and put some pictures up. Because that mini arcade which you play every time you pass go, and you've got your different counters, your Pac-Mans or the ghosts, and buy the property. And instead of community chess and the chance cards, there's themes, you've got power-ups and pellets. Covered quite a lot of Pac-Man games on the channel and Pac-Man clones. My favourite is Pac-Mania on the Commodore Amiga still, hands down, but there's a lot of different ones. Map-Man, Golf-Man on the Spectrum and lots of those. So yeah, Pac-Man Monopoly. I don't think it's something I would buy, but I think it was quite interesting. There might be collectors of Monopoly sets out there. I don't know if it's a reduced run. It is the 40th anniversary. So if you're a collector, it might be one of those things that's worth a bit of money in a few years' time when it comes to the 50th anniversary and all those sorts of things. So it might be worth something, or it might not. As I say, I don't know what the production run is, but it's the sort of thing you might expect to see on eBay in a few years' time at some stupid price, and someone will buy it. I don't know if it's been released all throughout the whole world at the same time, but I think the American price was $29.99. So have a look out for that one as well. So let's come to the shout outs on the channel. These are people that are supporting the channel on the 2nd tier and above, but I am very grateful to everyone on all the tiers because it's all adding up and it's all helping me continue, in particular the breakthrough of upgrading the internet. So that is good. So everyone on the 2nd tier and above, which is well, just $4.99, isn't it? Which isn't too bad. The lower tier is $1.99 there, which you probably won't miss, which would help me. But 2nd tier and above all get shout outs, and if you want me to plug any projects you're doing, any games you're doing, or any outside events, I certainly will do so, which will become more and more valuable as more and more people start watching this. So, thank you very much. So, first of all, Stephen NE UK has been very helpful to the channel in a number of ways, and now is a member as well. So, thank you, Stephen. Much appreciated there. Phil Hill, good chat. Stuart Clegg also. Rozzy Bozzy, also you've been very active at the moment in the gaming world, doing your various games, brilliant. Julie Monkton, very supportive on Twitter, retweeting a lot of vidcaps from the live streams, which is helping, and I sort of retweet them as well. Julie also runs a blog, which I plugged a few times, and she's got her book site, which I'll probably put the the link up again for you, Julie, although you didn't tell me to, but I'll take a risk and put it up there for you. So check Julie's book site, looking at old books from that sort of era. Yeah, brilliant site, brilliant blog. Chono Baggy, thank you, sir, brilliant. And Grey Hulk 2. Pum Pum Reader, hope you're okay, sir, still living life to the full and having great fun. Jason Holmes, thank you. And also Tom and Andrew Gibson, thank you, they're on the second tier. And as again, huge thanks to Graham Bebke, who's on the upper tier in Space Baby. You've gone above and beyond there. Hopefully at one point in the future you'll be joined by other people, but I didn't really expect anyone to take that sort of tier that early, which I say all the time. So thank you, Graham Bebke, fantastic fellow, fantastic fellow. So that's going to take us into the weekend. There is going to be a couple of ZX Spectrum videos there, and also a Commodore Amiga video and Atari 2600, I think. Members, all members and all tiers will get well, they would have seen the video put up last Sunday, and you'll know what videos are going up a week in advance. I hope that's good for you. Those videos tend to go up each Sunday, so thank you. So we covered a lot of things here. The one that shocked me the most, I think, was the Scots pensioners' shock at losing £3,000. Hopefully that ends well. I just thought something else I could talk about. The British Grand Prix is on, isn't it, this Sunday? And all the drivers are having to do tests. And if they test positive for coronavirus, they can't race, which is going to throw it up into array, especially if there's two drivers very close to the championship and it's the last race, and one of them can't race because of corona. But the first casualty of this is Sergio Perez, who drives for Racing Point, which is going to score a handful of points, but I don't think he's going to be a contender, because Racing Point are quite fast, they're not going to beat Mercedes. So yeah, he's going to miss out. Now, if anything like that happens to Lewis Hamilton for a couple of races, there's going to be absolutely pandemonium. But I'm looking forward to that. You might not be into the Grand Prix, but if it's there, I'll be watching. That's one of those grey areas as well of my live streaming. Could I comment on the Formula 1 or without showing pictures, or just the sound in the background, or would they be not allowed? I'd love to comment on that, and football as well. But anyway, I've seen online live streams where there's multiple people they're all commenting and watching at the same time. I think that's pretty acceptable. If you want me to do that, I'll be round. Okay, so there we go. What am I going around in circles now? Have a great weekend. There'll be more videos to come up. Live streaming will probably improve greatly from the end of next week in terms of quality. So take good care of yourself and have a great weekend and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye, E.
And Jenkin.